While everyone's busy debating the future of crypto, there's this one nation in Africa that's not just talking, they're making some absolutely massive moves. So let's get right into it. We're talking about Kenya and how it's becoming this totally unexpected and seriously green Bitcoin oasis. I mean, just think about that question for a second. How do you turn volcanic steam into digital money? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel, right? But believe it or not, this is the real deal question at the heart of Kenya's incredible new strategy. They're literally connecting one of the planet's most ancient power sources with one of its newest forms of money. All right, so this story really has two parts. The first part starts right at the top with a huge strategic move by the Kenyan government. I mean, they looked at a situation that most would see as a problem and instead saw this incredible opportunity. It's a plan that's being called the Geothermal Gambit. Okay, so first things first, what are we even talking about here? Geothermal energy. Well, it's basically just tapping into the Earth's own natural heat. Think of it like this. It's an incredibly powerful energy source that doesn't care if the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. It is always on. And on top of that, it's clean, it's reliable, it's sustainable. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Kenya has this, well, it's a unique problem, if you can even call it that. Because it's located right in the Great Rift Valley, the country is an absolute geothermal powerhouse. We're talking so powerful that it often generates way more clean energy than its own people can use at any given moment. So you've got all this extra power just sitting there, waiting for someone to plug in. And this surplus is where the genius idea comes in. It's so simple, it's beautiful. On one hand, you have Kenya with all this excess energy. On the other, you have Bitcoin miners who are desperate for huge amounts of power. So, what did the government do? They just put the two together. They invited the miners in, offered them all that cheap, reliable, green power, and boom, in return, Kenya gets a flood of foreign investment and starts building a name for itself as a serious tech hub. It's a total win-win. And you've got to understand that the payoff for the country here is massive. We're not just talking about money either. This kind of move brings in top-level tech expertise. It brings in new infrastructure. Seriously, what we're watching is a historic moment. Kenya is becoming the very first nation in Africa to actually bake Bitcoin right into its national energy policy. That's a huge deal. Okay, so that all sounds great, right? A fantastic story for the big corporations, the international investors, the government suits. But is that the whole picture? Is this just some big, top-down industrial project that has nothing to do with regular people? Well, the answer is a huge resounding no, because that's not even half the story. See, while all that big picture stuff is happening, something else, something totally different is unfolding on the ground. We're talking about a genuine grassroots movement, a real bottom-up revolution that's happening right on the streets of Kenya's cities. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. If you actually go to a place like Kibera, which is one of the biggest urban areas in Nairobi, you'll see something amazing. People are using Bitcoin, and not to get rich quick or for speculation. No, they're using it for daily essential stuff. There's this quote that just nails what's going on perfectly. When people use crypto for groceries, you know the revolution is real. I mean, think about that. Forget all the complex trading charts and financial jargon. When a technology gets to the point where you can use it to buy food for your family, well, that's when you know it's not a fad. That's real. So why? Why are people actually doing this on the ground? Well, it's pretty simple. It solves real-world problems for them. It gives them a way to protect their savings from a local currency that might be unstable, and maybe the biggest reason of all, it lets them get around the crazy expensive fees you see with traditional banks and money transfer services. And this is what makes the story in Kenya so special, so powerful. You've got these two massive forces moving at the exact same time. You've got the government's huge top-down strategy, and you've got the people's organic bottom-up adoption. And right now, they're starting to meet in the middle. Here's a good way to think about it. The top-down strategy, that's like the engine of a car. It's the big, powerful machine, right? It's the national energy policy, the geothermal power plants, the foreign miners. But then you've got the bottom-up movement, and that's the fuel. Without the fuel, the peer-to-peer transactions, the people using it every single day, that powerful engine has nowhere to go. It's the fuel that gives the whole thing legitimacy and real energy. And when you get the engine and the fuel working together like this, well, you get something that's just incredibly powerful and resilient. This mix of high-level government support and real street-level demand tells you that what's happening in Kenya probably isn't just some flash in the pan. They're actually building something that's meant to last, a truly robust, sustainable ecosystem for crypto. So, let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the bigger picture? Well, it means we could be witnessing the birth of a new leader on what you could call the African crypto frontier.
Look, if you take just one single thing away from all this, it should be this. Kenya's crypto story is so powerful because it's being built from two directions at once. You have the top-down and the bottom-up happening at the same time. It's a national strategy, perfectly meeting a real human need.
And that really leaves us with a huge, fascinating question to think about. By combining this incredible green energy infrastructure with real grassroots financial inclusion, is Kenya accidentally creating the blueprint? Are they showing other emerging economies a better, more sustainable, and frankly more inclusive way to adopt digital currencies? You have to wonder, are we looking at the future?